And we are back with another video. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90. We've got an update in terms of transfer, which I don't do as much now just because of time. But in the last 12 hours or so, or last 24 hours, depending on where you're watching it, we've had some major news to our midfield. So, as you've probably seen, if you've had a look, the club has it came out of absolutely nowhere, by the way. On Friday, Casadei has been recalled by Chelsea. The rumours are, we're going to speak to some Chelsea fans, that potentially Gallagher's going to go, so they're bringing back Casadei as part of that. He was happy here from reading reports. He was happy to continue here, but this is the situation that we're in at the moment. This is the problem with bringing in a loan player. If Callum Doyle wants to be retracted by Man City, it would be the same situation. And this is the problem with getting in loan players. The thing is, now the question is, how is Casadei going to be remembered here? And my thing is mixture. I think there is a good player in there. I don't think we've seen it, but I think what we expect in the summer when he was rumored to come with us, because it was rumored for quite a while now, for quite a while in the summer. Then he finally came to us and it was announced. His first game, he showed a bit of promise. However, if you go back and watch the recordings, I believe it was against Cardiff. He got his goal and he won us the game, and thank you for that. I didn't really think he was that impressive. I thought he was quite slow on the ball. I think he slowed up the ball. It didn't look like he was really busting a gut, especially when you got someone like Kieran Dewsbury Hall alongside, who is Mr. Workhorse, who is, again, gives you that energy, drives you forward, again, scores and assists. And that's something that, again, I've been having some disagreements with the Leicester fans that think he's okay, but he won't be able to cut it in the Prem. Genuinely think he'll be able to. I do think they'll rotate between different players, but that's not the point. Comparing both of them together, Casadei, for me, failed to live up to the hype, but that's not to say he won't go on to be a good player. The games that he got, I mean, if we get this kind of sums it up. So, a couple of things sums it up. Number one, he mostly made his appearances from the bench. And secondly, if we look at the scorers list, now football isn't all about scoring, because Harry Winks is quite far down this list. For example, if we go to Harry Winks, towards the bottom 2 goals in this. But you look at some of the games that you played, and Harry Winks plays in a different position, let's be honest. But looking at these towards the beginning towards the bottom of the list, you got Walt Fast, Wanya Marcel, who's again had 6 minutes or 6 games. That's it. I think these are the number of games they've played. And then we look up here, number 8, Cesare Casadei, 25 appearances. Granted, most of them have been off the bench. 3 goals, 2 assists. Now, he's been in fits and spurts. When he's come on, he did slow down the ball a little bit more. He didn't play to his maximum, in my opinion, in terms of the potential and the trajectory he's gone on. You look at the likes of somebody like Abdul Fattah, who's a couple of years younger, and you can see this guy's giving it. He's trying. He's defending a lot better. And he's younger than, but you see the progress and where this guy is going is very high up. With Leicester and what we're doing, I'm not disappointed that he's going back. Let's be honest, it wasn't going to happen there was I think Anna was saying you potentially could see it as a full-time thing. But Chelsea want to bring him back into the squad, and that's part of the loan agreement that paid him off. And what that means, his legacy will go down as okay, in my opinion. Even some of the other accounts, I was thinking, okay, who else could I mention his opinion? So I looked on Twitter, and you can imagine I put out something. There was a lot of hype in terms of Casadei. People forget he was given the number 7 shirt. That's a big achievement. I mean, that was done by Harvey Barnes in the past. And again, so that showed you that kind of player that would be in that position. Our 2 main players last season, let's be honest, were Harvey Barnes, James Maddison were the 2 main players that kind of stood out. Mostly James Maddison, let's be honest. Number 10, number 7. Number 7 is an important shirt. However, did he live up to that number shirt? No. Do I wish him bad? No. I think that it didn't quite work out. Some of the other deals, remember who we brought in, again, in terms of, we've not seen enough of the likes of Yunus Akgun, what that means. So with Abdul Fattah, we can see Mavididi, we can see now as well. He had a little bit of he's doing okay. And in the last couple of games, he's turned and it started to really climb up. and his numbers have increased with that. When Casadei has had a run in the team compared to the likes of Yunus, I've not seen him come on to that next level. I don't wish him ill. I wish him well. I wish he'll go on. His arriving in the box was good sometimes. His decision making at times I thought was questionable. He really shone. I think the game that really shone for me of a full performance was one against Millwall, but that was against the second string Millwall team. And so him and Yunus were quite good in that. And Yunus grew into the game late and was actually taken off early. From what I hear, from what the Athletic says, Yunus, the jury's still out with him at the moment. But coming into this, we've now lost a midfielder. And news coming into the Ipswich game, Keenan Dewsbury Hall is potentially out for the game as well. So we've had our and Wilfred Ndidi's injured. Three midfielders have now been withdrawn from the team. Now, what does that mean before I get on to Sensei and what he is? And again, I will do, as we normally do on this channel, a big breakdown of Sensei, some of the analysis, what kind of player, and I'll mention some of this briefly in this video as well. Who will play in that midfield? And we're scratching our heads a little bit. Yunus, as we've seen, will probably play on the right-hand side. And the last position, I've seen a few things go around at the moment. Number one, push Ricardo up there, which I'm not against. Is there the best options in the team? Yunus is probably the one that would say at the moment. If we go through some of the teams that we have and all the positions in the team at the moment, I don't see another player that we look at and go, yeah, that's him, that's not injured. So let's go through that, and I'll bring this up now. James Justin, we won't be a lot of these. James Justin, I don't think so. Chowdhury, I feel like Chowdhury's more play alongside Winks in that position. Or Brighton, he's more of the winger, chip it in. Wilfred Ndidi's injured. The player that I think will come in for him, who I don't think until we get Sensei in, which looks more than likely, the redemption of Pratt. This is your time to shine, Pratt. You've got 6 months with us. You've got 6 months. Now show what you're worth. Dennis Pratt, I've been on this channel. I've been talking about how good of a player he is, and how technical it is, and it's not worked out for him. Now is our opportunity to call upon him, just like we've done with Harry Souttar when he's had to come on the pitch and perform. This is our opportunity to really get into it. And I think that Dennis Pratt offers something different to the team, and he is that high 8. I think he will do a good job. Now, Endo has said previously in the past and for the press conference, no player has asked me to leave this summer, so this January. So that means that they're all kind of committed. They're all here, and he wants them all to stay. So that midfield will be Yunus Akgun, and it will be Yunus Akgun and Dennis Pratt, which I'm excited about. Two very different players. They're not. Dennis Pratt, for me, gives you that option in that midfield position where he can swap between either one. He can play the ball out wide. Is he good at arriving in the box? Probably not. So that's what we're going to have to do coming into this game, because we've got 3 main midfield, one recalled, 2 are injured. So now we're down to kind of, not want to say bare bones, but we're down to very little. But on that right-hand side as well, if Unicorn in, you have to play McAteer because Fatah's out injured, out with a red card. So it makes things very difficult. There isn't really anybody else that could play in that position. Let's get some of the other players up that mentioned that aren't there at the moment. Can't really see any of these playing the 8. Mavididi will play on the left. He's our out left winger. Kelechi and Nacho's out on AFCON. Fatah's red card. Patson Daka, AFCON. Tom Cannon, I still think will start, by the way, against Ipswich. And then Yunus Akgun is cast as a forward, which I find interesting. There's basically forward and wingers that are here. But who's not classed as well? But McAteer's classed as 8. I don't think McAteer will play the 8 role. I genuinely think it will be Dennis Pratt and redemption of Dennis Pratt once again. So that's the update. Again, we've been following it on Twitter. We've been tweeting about this a lot. So again, beyond the 90 LCFC on Twitter, if you want, or X, whatever it's called nowadays, a little bit about that. But now we've got a space that's free. So we've got Daniel Iverson that's gone on loan to Stoke. And now, so he's gone on loan and he's come out of the squad. So the 25 is now 24. And then Thingy's gone down to, and then Casadei's gone. So now 23. It's potentially gone one back up because Luke Thomas has come back from loan. There is option from Sheffield United. There is rumours that he's going to go somewhere else as well. So down to 24. So we've got one more player in the squad. And you've probably seen before, the player that we're looking at is Stefano Sensi. So one Italian in, one Italian out. In terms of Leicester City, a little bit of a profile and where he is. So he has been injured and loaned everywhere from what it looks like. So there's a lot of different places. He was at Inter Milan. He did have a transfer fee at the time in 4 years ago of 30 million. 24 years old. And after that, his market value's come down. And Sampdoria, he was loaned to. I believe that wasn't the same time that Harry Winks was there. And then Monza, he was loaned to, and then he went back to Inter Milan. He's been stunted, I don't know if you can find that, by injuries. But I get good feelings about this one, genuinely. In terms of what he's done, and I'm trying to find his injury record, and it's not great. Enzo has convinced him that he's the dude, which I'm very happy about. It's only a fee of 2 million at this moment in time. Even transfer market, what is it saying? He can play 4 million euros, but the fee from Fabrizio, let me bring this up. I think I've got it on one of these tabs. So many different tabs open. Looks like Ken, he only wants Sensei, and he's telling me so only wants Stefano Sensei. So again, he's been very specific in that case. Inter will receive a fee of about 2 million euros with the final proposal, and the contract will be, from what I've seen, until 2027. So 3-year contract in terms of that. He's agreed personal terms and he wants to move. Now, for me, this is important. The fact that he wants to come, he wants to move. And he will be playing in that number 8, probably in the Casadei position on that right-hand side. Very technical, very gifted. You've probably seen the compilations. There's not a lot of information out there at the moment. But if we can get a tune out of him, I think he'll be a good player. He will take time. I don't want to throw him in the deep end because we don't want to just because we kind of need him now, but at the same time we need to develop him as a player. And I think what he brings to the squad as 28 years old is experience. So imagine Harry Winks. He comes from a similar position to Harry Winks, where Harry Winks' kind of career was. If I look at transfer market, look at Harry Winks now. Transfer market, Harry Winks. I think that his kind of career was on the way down, but with Leicester City, we've seen how good he is, and I trust Enzo and what he's doing. But if you look at something like where he was at the moment, let's open this back up and show you what I'm talking about on screen. So this is Harry Winks' current market value of 12 million. So we can see at the peak, again, it was 40 million, kind of coming down, kind of loaned to Sampdoria, and then sold to Leicester City. And then we're starting to just, again, he's got about 12 million here. He's a similar age. He's not as well built, in my opinion. That's something that I would be a little bit worried about, especially with the Premier League, with the Championship being so physical. He's only 5'6", 1m68, which is not that tall for a player. I googled it. He's just an inch smaller than Messi, which I'm hoping is the best thing in the world. But listen, he's going to come in. He's going to play on that right hand side, and he's going to give us that little bit of dynamicism, I think is the word, to allow us to play forward and take on a man and get past him. My only thing is he going to be arriving into the box for the tap in? Probably not. So Endo's got a plan for him. Every player he's bought in, he's had a plan. Of all the transfers, if you think about all the transfer we made, the only one that really hasn't worked out, and at the fence I'm on the fence about Yunus, but I think Yunus is a good player, but we're not convinced if we're going to sign him as of yet. The player that we want to sign in that position that's not worked out is Casadei, who's gone back on loan now, so that hopefully changes the dynamics of things. And makes us hopefully go on to another level. Listen, I'm excited. He's 28. He's got experience. And I think we are lacking experience in this team. that is on the playing pitch. So the spine of the team is really important. Manson looks like a bit of a leader, but he's still young. You've got Vestergaard in that position, Harry Winks and Ricardo Pereira as that position. Above that, you've got Sensei, who's going to be that. He's a little bit older than Wolford and Diddy, and a little bit more experience in playing in that number high 8 position. Then above that, you've got Jamie Vardy Jamie Vardy / Tom Cannon. So I'm excited. I think this is a player that the more I look into it, the more it makes sense. I am still worried about the injury records. Will have to be nursed in. But for $2 million for a 3-year contract to go from a lone player to a more experienced player, he's sold on the system. He wants to come here. Enzo's got away with words that he can convince people. The fact that we got Harry Winks into the championship, the fact that we got Connor Cody, even though he's not playing in this team, is incredible. So a little bit on that. I'll do some more full analysis as you guys like and look into that a little bit more, because his ability to move forward with the ball, I think, is really, really good. And it is exciting. Has he been signed yet? No. But again, the rumors have been far and wide for this one. And there's a few reputable sources. Fabrizio's coming out with it. Rob Tanner's coming out with it. Jordan Blackwell from the Athletic, from the Leicester Mercury, is coming out with it as well. So in terms of this little kind of special, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We will be back for the Ipswich game, but I thought this is really important to kind of talk about this, as this has been a bit of a shock. The Casadei news came out of nowhere, but what that's done is that jigsaw has allowed that piece to come out so that we can put another piece in its place. And the fact we're going from a lone player that is potentially wasn't going to be here for the rest of the time to now a full-time player that's going to be here permanently, I think will help the squad morale as well. It will take him time to settle in, but I'm interested to see how they embedded him in and slowly introduced him to some of the games. Make sure you like and subscribe, all that good stuff. We're trying to get to 2.5K soon by the end of January. So any advice or anybody you could share this with would be greatly appreciated. We'll see you on the next video. So goodbye.